Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Fail PG. As usual, I am the Mighty Mage. With us tonight we have Ross the Boss, Mr. Goat, and Surge, who is failing on the B-roll yet again. Surge, press the buttons!
Did he push the button? I can't tell. Did he?
Yes, he pressed the buttons.
I wasn't done.
Nope, you took too long. You're gone now.
And yet another one.
I'm only doing what I was told. He said to press the button, so I pressed the button.
You all fail, and I super hate you.
We always.
Yes! Yes!
His
hate is the best hate!
Can I tell you something crazy?
Sure.
When the Mighty Mage is talking right now, it looked like he's right in sync right now. Skype and OBS is some BS right now.
Yep.
Wait, he looks like he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't realize by now, when trying to do NDI setup for anything, it is a
Yep. Nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. This is what we gotta work with.
So if we look like
All
we're
right.
in some old kung fu flick for the rest of the night, I will apologize for the fact that we can't fix it, but I will not apologize for Skype because that is a Microsoft issue. Skype and Microsoft can go fuck themselves.
Damn. I was just gonna say Skype is shite, but same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I mean, that is not discounting the possibility that we really are just one of those, like, old-timey B-grade movies with bad voiceovers.
Yep.
That is true.
Wait,
But the action is always good though.
Wait,
Yeah,
if it's old timey B movie with bad voiceovers, does that mean I get to go around and talk like this? Cause I love to talk like this for the rest of the day.
I might make that a rule, so be careful.
And Wu-Tang Clan, the Wu-Tang Clan will change the name of your movie.
Oh man, so beautiful.
Why?
So, gentlemen, are you ready to resume the shenanigans of the previous episode?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm ready.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Surge has got his deck of cards as if he thinks he's going to be playing some cards here. We'll find out.
I probably
However,
won't be. I probably won't be. I just wanted to show, just because last episode I wasn't able to get to the cards in time during the recording. These are the cards that we will be using for Sir Regios. So, aren't those beautiful? I've had these for years. When I get
he's very fond of them, so make sure that you sneer and say in the comments below how terrible they are to make him feel bad, so he doesn't bring them up anymore.
Don't worry, I'll be sure to bring out a bunch of different card decks at that point to get you to continue to say how terrible they are.
I might have to confiscate a point of health from Tall, Dark, and Shovelly for every deck of cards he pulls out of his pocket. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, no,
No wait,
things
no.
happen.
'Cause
Man.
He's trying to save me. Don't do that. I'm trying
Things happen.
Oh, sorry, it doesn't look like I can save you. Apparently, I kept pulling out decks of cards and died on impact.
This is not Yu-Gi-Oh. We don't do this.
Monster!
It's
Monster!
called-
Monster! Monster! Yugi, he's dead. Monster! Monster!
How is he still doing this? How is he summoning all of these creatures?
And then you just pull out Monster Reborn.
It's called cheating.
So, Ronnie, we're going to start with you.
Oh, no recap.
No recap. We're going to dive right into it because the recap will become quite apparent in a couple moments here. So, Ronnie, as I recall, you were on your way to a guardhouse to see a man about a wallaby and also possibly that missing person poster. And when
Well,
last
just
we
so
left,
you know, that wallaby is a very dangerous wallaby. Yeah.
Yeah, you say that, but I'm suspicious. I'm a little bit skeptical.
Don't be suspicious.
All right. Look, I'll drop the accent. Okay, look here. Let me be honest with you. I fucking hate wallabies. And when I gut this one, I'm gonna tear its fur off and sell it to the highest bidder.
What?
It's bold talk. We'll see if you can actually handle the wallaby once you get your hands on it.
I swear to God, if you actually have me fighting a wallaby,
It could happen.
I could.
You know,
I could
keep,
end up actually doing backflips if that happens. I may actually.
You could. So, you just attempted to navigate the city at night and got turned around all kinds of ways, but after much wailing and gnashing of teeth and almost getting mugged in a dark back alley, you have finally found yourself standing in front of the Southeastern District guardhouse. And there are two soldier boys standing loosely outside. They've both kind of taken notice of you. One gave you a nod, the other one's just kind of eyeing you.
Wait,
Out
you
the corner
said
of his
soldier
eye.
boys.
Not really sure what to make out of you.
Can
Soldier
I do it?
boys.
Right, can I do it? Can I you? Can I?
No!
Alright.
Don't you dare!
Do it.
What?
No.
No. Soldier boy.
No.
Watch me.
No.
Fine.
The DM said yes.
Watch me. You. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, I hate. Where was I? Two guards notice me. One gives me a head nod. The other one kind of just raises the eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am just gonna, give him my, I notice you nod and top of the evening and continue on my way inside.
Okay. You step inside and look around a little bit. There's a sort of vestibule just inside with a small desk where presumably a guard would be doing paperwork. The chair is empty at the moment, though. The desk unoccupied. There's a single candle sitting on top of the desk, dimly illuminating the room. Couple of doors heading to the left and the right. Another one behind the desk. Doesn't seem to be anybody around, though.
Well, Ronnie's not into walking around police stations and getting herself in trouble. So, she's gonna actually make her way back out the door and ask one of the two guards for assistance.
Okay. You got the one on the left and the one on the right. Choose wisely.
Oh, he said choose wisely. So we'll just let the coin gods decide.
Choose a
Heads, the one on the left.
You step back outside, and the one on the left gives you a sidelong glance before returning his gaze to the street.
It's gonna be one of those nights. Ronnie will then speak up. Excuse me there. Any chance you might be able to give me some assistance? It appears the person at the front has disappeared.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I could get one of those posters of the missing woman.
Well, alright. But, you ain't gonna find nothing. She been gone almost 2 weeks now. Probably dead. And he turns and motions for you to go back inside.
Alright.
Follows you in and circles around the desk, opens a drawer, rifles through some papers, and then pulls out a tattered looking sheet of parchment and hands you a single piece of paper, which is, a rough copy of the one that you saw in the tavern. They don't have printing presses, obviously, so every poster is hand-drawn repeatedly. So it looks similar, but there are definitely differences. But at least the writing is a little bit more legible on this one. You can tell that the name definitely is Linnea, with a single L. And it says something about her being, it looks like maybe 14. That could be a 4 or a 9, but it's probably a 4. And, yeah, abducted from the Southern Marketplace Square about 2 weeks ago, if the date is accurate.
You wouldn't happen to have a town map on hand, would you?
Would ya?
Well, yeah, I would, but not I'm gonna give you. Go find one of them general wares vendors in the morning. They'll set you up with one.
Right then. I'll just be taking this and making my way then.
Right. Have a safe evening.
If I can navigate my way back to my bar, that is.
Oh dear.
I mean, I
Here we
already
go.
knew I was gonna have to roll anyway. I might as well just put it out there.
Yep. Let's have 100 side.
And then I go grab the wrong pants. Oh, this is starting off so swimmingly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great evening for you.
You know what? Let's make some fun out of this. What are we thinking, guys? High or low? High or low? Take bets.
Are you kidding? I'm betting higher than 60.
Higher than 60. What about you, Goat? What do you think?
No, lower than 60.
Lower than 60. What about you, boss?
69.
If I roll 69, I win. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Goat wins. It's lower than 60. It is 21. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
All right.
No critical.
I mean, the odds are in my favor, though. My odds are in favor. That's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, considering last game.
So, yeah, you were having some real hard luck last game. So, all right, off to a slightly better start than expected. You wander around for another probably 2 hours, Ronnie, but eventually you do manage to find your way back to the original tavern you were staying at, the White Stag.
As I make my way inside, I want to approach the barkeep, and Ronnie's going to ask the barkeep if they might have a spare map she can borrow.
All right. Oh, hey, Ronnie, right? I remember you. Welcome back to the White Stag, the best tavern in all of Kiss. What can I do for you, my dear?
I think I'll be trying to set up with another room for the evening. Also, do you have a spare map?
Spare map? No, I can't help you out with that, but I can definitely do another room for you. That'll be 1 silver piece.
Right. And oh, that's right. I forgot. That's why I have the laptop now. That's
Yeah, don't be pressing buttons on your recording machine and setting off all the transitions.
all the wrong buttons.
This is why we don't let you push buttons sometimes.
Then you start
The
pushing
scary
the buttons
thing,
from
though,
now on.
I mean, yeah, we do let him push all the buttons. He's the master recorder for all of these sessions. That's the terrifying thing about it.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like I said, if that's the case, you start pressing all the buttons for now on.
If I push the buttons, it wouldn't be good.
Oh, so no confidence?
Oh no, I have confidence.
No balls. Ross has no balls.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Pretty much.
You know what the sad part is? That was perfect because when you went off screen and said it, and then you came back, that's when it actually went through.
Oh, the desync, it hurts.
It hurts so bad. I'm actually gonna take the missing persons poster, and I'm gonna just like put it on the top of the bar, and I'm gonna ask the barkeep if he knows anything
Barkeep picks the thing up off the countertop. No, I can't say that I recognize her. But, we don't get too many 14-year-old girls in here, you know. And he hands it back to you.
You haven't heard any rumors or anything about this? It's been 2 weeks.
I mean, people go missing from time to time. I don't ask too many questions about it. There's been a little bit of chatter, at least there was the week that it happened. But after that it got pretty quiet. The only thing that I heard was that she disappeared in the southeastern market district and was never seen again.
Seen or heard from ever again.
So that tracks with everything else Ronnie's been told so far. However, the fact that he said people go missing every so often throws a red light on in Ronnie's head. So she just kind of slowly glances up at him. How often is often?
Well, let me think about this now. There was, 10 last month, I think, and, 5 the month before that. Most of them young girls, I believe. Not too uncommon up here in Kish.
Okay, so that either means that they're being sold in this, they're being picked up for slave work, or they're being picked up as prostitutes.
We don't say the S word around here.
Female night worker.
There we go.
Oh, lady of the town. There you go. That's enough.
We like that one too.
Yeah.
Noel will be right in his element.
Oh yeah.
Chicks used for public use.
But, I used to guard ladies of the town.
That's right.
Yeah.
Noel's side job is a bouncer at a brothel.
Now, my question is, was that the name of the brothel though? Ladies of the
Lady
town.
on the
Ladies of the town. I hope that they had a better name than that.
We never established it. That's the reason why.
The club was called Easy on the Eyes. That's what it's called.
Okay, easy on the eyes.
But instead of it being like the actual word eyes or a sign of eyes, it's just the letter I with an apostrophe S. Because they don't know any better.
Or the club could be called could be called I don't know who my daddy is. You get it?
Too
And
soon and
that-
too close for home, man. What's
No.
wrong with you?
What?
There's too
Well-
many. Look. I'm pretty sure majority of us watching this right now all have daddy issues. Okay? I'm pretty sure like half of us on crew have daddy issues of some sort.
And
Let's
I don't have daddy issues. Quit making fun of me.
at least
See?
5% of them have mommy issues
Yeah.
too. So you know, hey.
yeah. So let's be kind to the people who are like us.
And then there's those rare ones. Their grandmother got him into the profession.
Damn it!
Old granny, I could teach you some tricks. He's like, I was lady of the town. She was like, I used to be a lady of the town. What do you mean by that, grandma? He's like,
Apparently, Grandma runs the brothel.
Yeah. Yeah.
What has
The-
been seen cannot be unseen.
The Richard
Yeah,
Pryor
I
story.
was like, wow, grandma, you're so cool. I was wondering why mom didn't let me hang out with you. He's like, yeah, you don't listen to your mother.
Why do
So
we
bad.
let him talk
So
in the
bad.
mic? No. No.
Yes. From this point on, Mighty Mage, the job is yours.
Oh, he died.
Well, that's the end of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for tuning in to Fail PG. This is probably the last time we'll ever be on air.
Yeah, especially since our director just killed himself and went midstream. We were only 20 minutes in, people. We were only 20 minutes in.
Bravo, we failed. Or what do we call that a success? Because we killed him.
So it would be a
Doesn't stay
success
dead,
because
so it's
you
not a-
managed to kill me finally, but it would be an epic fail because now this whole entire channel is getting shut down by YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
So
What do
I
you
still
mean?
win because my universal fail still took effect at the end of the day.
What, the ladies of the town? They don't like that name? I mean,
Yeah, that's not that.
And
No,
then it came
let's
back.
continue.
Probably it being a family business with the grandma taking lead.
Yes.
God,
And
continue.
now that's
Yeah.
canon thanks to you. Thanks.
her tobacco spitting grandma. They have to be more specific.
Moving on before we get lost and I lose my turn completely because I can't.
Okay.
Oh, it's too
I
late.
can't-
It's too
I
late.
can't mentally manage. So
She has to put that thing in the throat. Nah, I love you.
they didn't
All
have
right,
those
that's
back
enough
then.
out of you.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
And they didn't have those back then.
Yeah, they
So
did.
with the shut your face. So with the information that Ronnie now has, she's going to be wanting to see if she can find what was his name again, the captain of the Dainty Prince. I'm surprised I didn't put that in my
Amar.
character sheet. Why did I not put that in my character sheet the first time?
Oh, not Amar. Sorry. Dainty Prince. Where are you? Nuril. Nuril is captain of the Dainty Prince.
And how are we spelling Noril?
Nuril.
Okay, I was close. Cool. So she's gonna pay him a visit tomorrow. But for now, it's been a long evening. Ronnie's gonna go to sleep.
Okay. Well, you head on up to your room and situate yourself. It's the same one that you had the last evening, so just as you remember it being left.
With the bed bugs.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, no, I lied. Because you made a note of the bed bugs and he thought it was a feature. He got you a different room this time. It's actually one floor above, and although it is slightly smaller, it looks a little bit cleaner, and there are no bugs in the bed that you can see, at least.
Well, I'm just gonna take a look around and just kind of check things out in the room.
Give me a 12 side.
Oof. Well, there's our first critical fail of the game. That's what I get for rolling good on a 100 side, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. You look around, and there's a bed, and a small table, and a door.
I hate life sometimes.
You can't forget the door. Don't forget the door.
Ronnie's just gonna kind of like take a seat down on the bed after she closes the door behind her. She's just gonna take a seat down on the bed, kind of sit there for a minute and just kind of mull over what she wants to do tomorrow, kind of like planning her day.
Mm-hmm.
Then she's going to take her battle axe off her bag, lay it next to her in the bed, and just kind of cuddle up with it. Oh boy.
Okay. You settle down for a nice evening's rest and have an uneventful evening. Although your dreams are maybe a little bit troubled with images of boat battles and Captain Nurl and his giant sneer, and intermingled with that is the spooky alleyways of Kish at night, and fleeting shadows of young ladies disappearing into the darkness. But you're awakened by bright sunlight streaming through the itty bitty little window to your room, right into your eyes.
Ronnie's gonna wake up, look down. Is that the bad whack she's been cuddled up with all night.
It's still there.
Yeah. She's just gonna, hello, gorgeous. Give a nice little kiss right on the center. Put it right on her back like usual. Kind of check her head, see if it's like frizzing out from the wild sleep. If not, she's just gonna go out the door. If it is, she's gonna.
So you feel around, adjust your hair, and actually as you're patting it down and combing it out to make sure that it's straight, you pull your hand away and there's a little white bug crawling around on your finger. And you scratch your head a little bit and pull your hand away and, oh look, there's another one. Well, not sure if this bed didn't have bugs before, but it does now.
Oh, god damn it. I go out of the room, into the bar, walk up to the barkeep, and just simply ask, do you have a bed that I can
Oh, yes, of course. We got the finest baths here in Kish. And he points down to the very far end of the bar there. You see that door over there? Go through that door and down the flight of stairs. That'll take you to the cellar. And then on the left, there's a little alcove there with a couple of showering stalls. You can't miss it.
Thank you. Speeds off towards the baths.
You get down there, and, well, yeah, I guess showering stalls is one thing you could call them. It's basically a couple of wooden stools with a small drain in the middle of the floor, basically a small squared off area, and not too far away from that there's a large cask of water and a spigot and a couple of buckets.
Cool. Ronnie's just gonna get to work.
All right. You go and draw water from the giant cask, which you note the water is freezing cold. And you also note that there are no privacy curtains or screens or anything. You're just sitting on a stool in the middle of the cellar. So if anybody else comes down for a shower,
Oh, Ronnie is putting her battle axe up in the corner inside that stall with her. So,
Okay.
along
All
with
right.
the hand axe,
Give
sitting
me a,
right on her knee.
Give me a 12 side for Constitution check.
Oh, cold water, of course.
Yes, yes.
Alright.
Good enough. You doused yourself with the freezing cold water from the bucket, steeling yourself and gritting your teeth against the frigid temperature, but you managed to work it into your hair. You notice that there's a bar of, it might be animal fat or something, sitting on a small table next to one of the stalls. That might be what they have for soap around here. You grab that and after messing with it a little bit, figure, well, what the hell? Start lathering up with it as best you can to get these little buggers out of your hair. And takes you the better part of an hour to then get the animal fat out of your hair. But after you're done, you can't find any more bugs. Hair doesn't feel too bad, honestly. You don't stink, so maybe it worked out okay. And luckily, nobody walked down while you were doing that to get a show.
Oh, no one had a show? Come on.
No.
I mean, naked Ronnie killing somebody would be hilarious, but probably not the best thing right now. So
Why she had to kill somebody? That's why she has to be like that.
with the
Because
way
it's Ronnie.
I was gonna say, with the way things have been going lately for Ronnie, with the types of people she's been running into, trust me, somebody was gonna get themselves killed. So Ronnie's gonna
All right.
rest, head back upstairs, and she's going to ask where's the nearest like street vendor who sells perfumes usually located.
Oh, you're looking to go to the marketplace? Well, I can help you out with that. You go outside here, and then take a left, then go follow that road down towards the docks. About 3 blocks down, there's a small right, and that's the market square for the Southeastern District.
Thanks. Okay, so it's towards the docks. That's a place we actually do know where we're going, so that helps.
All right, you head out and start walking down the street towards the marketplace. Noel, Stryker, Regios, you are in the
Where?
Lore Master's chamber at
Hello.
the top of Kudafane Monastery, seated around a nice little coffee table, almost about to play a nice game of cards.
Now bring
now
those cards out.
Now you're confronted with a large white feathered dragon. The beast has emerged from the archway that leads out to the balcony on the eastern wall, and it basically stopped as soon as it caught sight of you guys, and you guys stopped as soon as you caught sight of it. It
Yeah.
stands about 7 feet tall at the shoulder, with its head lofted another 2 feet or so on a slender neck. It's covered in feathers from head to tail, white as driven snow, and blue eyes scowl down at you, emotionless and unreadable. It
Oh.
makes no move towards you and no sound. What are you doing?
Oh man! Oh, we got a pet now. Give it a piece of chicken. Hey, we got a piece of chicken.
No, you stop
As Sir
talking.
Reggio said before,
You stop talking.
Sir Regios is just going to reiterate what he said at the end of last episode. No sudden movements. Whatever you do, small, subtle,
Can I do a
Anything
perception check
else
if
will be
this dragon?
as if you were threatening the dragon. Just like
So-
any other animal in the wild. So just
What did you
relax
say, Stryker?
and be calm.
What's he done? I was saying, can I do a perception check to see if I know the dragon?
Oh dear Lord, don't you dare
Sure.
do this.
Do intelligence.
Sure.
No,
Give
no,
me
no.
a-
I
give me
know
a
what I know what he's
intelligence.
thinking. He's done this. We've seen this before. He's gonna try to do some nonsense.
What? I'm not going to try.
I swear,
I believe
if you
this is the part
try
of
to
the program where
fuck
we
the
play Stryker's theme.
I am not going to try to fuck the dragon. I'm not going to try to fuck the dragon.
It's like give it a piece of chicken. It'll be ours. We
It
got.
was 12 side, right?
Yeah, 12 side.
You know what's that word? I actually got one.
See, you got lucky. It's a 2. I don't know the dragon.
No, you don't know the dragon.
See, all right.
You can't recall ever having met a dragon in person.
Okay, so I'm just gonna.
You know what?
You gonna see if you know
Because
the
I've been
dragon?
I was gonna say I've been to Kish enough. I just want to know if I would recognize the dragon.
Roll to give it a piece of chicken.
Alright,
see
give me a
if it
12
works.
side.
Roll perfect 12. We can recruit him.
That is a 6. So probably no. Probably a eh.
You don't recognize the creature. Having been to Kish before, you have seen the occasional dragon or what looked like a dragon flying way off in the distance, but certainly nothing that you recognize.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take
I'm
it.
gonna sit there. I'm just gonna stand there and look at the dragon. I was like, in awe, like, oh my god, this is a beautiful dragon. If you probably was about to die, this would probably be the way to go.
And
But-
actually, as you're looking at it and thinking that, it turns its gaze upon you, Stryker, and just looks at you.
And I'm like, wait, I didn't do nothing to you. Why are you looking at me?
And
And
it stares at you for an uncomfortably long moment before then shifting its gaze.
I was about to try to seduce the dragon. If the dragon want to look, what's
don't
up?
you dare.
Don't I have a seduction type of thing?
No! Stop trying that!
Are you are you gonna do this for
Don't
real
you
here?
dare try to fuck the dragon.
I'm not gonna fuck the dragon.
Hey, give it some food, man. Look at.
What
Alright,
food? We don't
roll-
have no
give it-
food.
No food.
Roll for perception to see if you see any food in the area you could give it. Unless you happen to
Okay.
have some pack.
No, I got nothing in my pack.
Yeah, you look. I'll look too, just because.
I got a 7.
I got a 9.
You look around for anything that could be considered food. Unfortunately, the room appears to be bare.
See? Told you we ain't got no food. Why the hell you make me look? Now go back and looking at the dragon like.
I hate you.
I just had this vision of Donkey from Shrek.
Yes, exactly.
I got an idea. we just look at it in a very regal, calm way to see how it reacts.
Be serious though. I look at the dragon. I'm just like blank face. Don't look angry. Don't look sad. Just like blank face. Like.
All right, so Striker's doing the deer in the headlights look. Nola's trying to be like respectful and presentable. Seregius, what are you doing?
Seregios is still slowly putting the rest of his cards away and looking up at the assassins to make sure that they're not bugging out or doing anything stupid.
I don't think assassins will bug out. I feel like.
Hello, these are the same people who literally started slowly moving away when the sea serpent first showed up on the ship. Remember that? They were literally trying to get away from this thing. They didn't want anything to do with it.
Trying to make sure
if
they
could have gotten if they could have gotten off the boat, they would have moved much faster.
So now that you say that, can I slowly grab Twitchy just to make sure his ass don't do nothing stupid?
Twitchy was sitting next to you, too, wasn't he? Oh Lord.
That's why I'm saying this. He was sitting next to me.
So the lead assassin, Seregios, you will note, is treating this kind of like you are, as the consummate professional, and he's not making any sudden movements. He's slowly leaning back in his chair as if preparing to rise in case he has to get the heck out of Dodge, but for the moment he's kind of staying where he is. Twitchy is just kind of looking up at the thing for the moment, and actually points up towards the dragon and opens his mouth. It's a dragon! And as soon as he does this, like, you notice the dragon immediately snaps its attention to him.
And I'm sitting there
and
next to him.
starts walking towards you guys.
I'm like,
slowly.
So I'll
nobody move.
Hold on. I'll look at.
Well, I go way ahead of you.
Striker, grab Twitchy's hand.
What do you think I'm trying to do? Don't interrupt me. I'm just sitting there looking at him like.
No. Wait, no. What side of the table are you sitting on? I can't recall.
I think he's
on the right.
Okay, you on the right? I thought we was on the right. No. I said.
Okay.
My plan.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to remember. Were you sitting closest to the fireplace or closest to the balcony? I know I was sitting closest to the fireplace because I wanted the view outside of the balcony.
And I was sitting next to you.
Right.
So I thought I was on the right, and Twitchy was on the right with me.
I'm picturing it in my head.
And the assassin was on the backside because he was facing.
Yeah, he was facing us, so his back was towards the dragon when it came in. Then.
No, you had to be on the left side.
It was.
So then.
Yeah, the lead assassin was facing away from the balcony. Remember, the fireplace is on the south wall, and the balcony is at the corner of the room where the south wall and the east wall meet.
And the east wall is where the entrance is, correct?
Approaching you guys, the west wall.
West wall.
Southwest wall is where the entrance was.
Southwest wall?
So the dragon... Yeah, so if you're sitting with your back to the fireplace,
correct.
You're looking northward, the dragon's going to be on your right, the door that you guys came in through is going to be on your left.
Okay.
The dragon is approaching your position from the southeast corner of the room.
So yeah,
that
they're
means
on my
technically
side.
Speaking, if Noel is on the opposite side of me, which would be the left, then that should mean that if I needed Noel to get up and go for the door to go get his weapons, I can make that happen. Okay. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
And it's probably worth remembering at this moment that only 2 of the 3 assassins are seated at the table with you.
Yeah,
Twitchy in the lead.
Yeah.
The other one is still.
The other one was wandering around kind of aimlessly in the room.
Shit.
And he's the one that I need to spot.
So it's not
I'm
full
going to
blown
do a
dragon.
perception roll right now to see where he is and what he's doing.
So it's a drake.
So
not a
this
full-on
creature
drake.
is it's a quadruped, 4 legs, 2 wings. So I don't know how you classify that as Drake versus Dragon.
Okay.
Dragon.
I mean, it seems to be
Pegasus.
a flexible term.
Yeah, I mean,
So
dragon
what are
is
you
like
looking
a.
for, Sergios?
So right now I'm rolling perception to see if I can find where this other assassin is, and hope that he's not doing anything fucking stupid.
Like trying to jump on its back and ride it for fun.
Okay, it's 8.
So you slowly glance around the edge of your seat, and you see the third assassin is currently in the northwest corner of the room, slowly backing up towards the large mural on the western wall. He looks like he's about ready to make a run for it.
I look at the lead assassin, and I mouth the words because I don't want too much sound to travel and cause any issues. I just mouth the words, "Calm your man around the corner."
The lead immediately snaps his gaze up to the one in the corner, and you can just see him mouth, "Shit."
Oh, I swear, if that's the assassin that gets us fucked over and not twitchy.
So I'm gonna do. So this is what I'm gonna do.
Who's gonna like look at the drake or dragon or whatever and just say caw caw?
No one. No one's gonna do
Are
that.
you
God damn it.
volunteering?
No, not me. Not me.
I'm not gonna seduce the dragon. Okay. I'm gonna slowly get up, turn towards the dragon, get down on one knee and bow.
Interesting. Roll a 12 side for performance.
Please don't let my ass fall.
Striker,
He gets a
Why do you-
1.
why do you do anything?
I got an 8.
Okay. We might
I
be
reverse
safe.
jinxed you, see?
8. You said that's a performance.
As you
stuff.
stand up,
Mhm.
the dragon stops walking, and its gaze immediately snaps to you. As you turn to face it, its gaze is fixed on you most intently, and then you drop to one knee in your little bow. And the dragon actually cocks its head a little bit, as if curious. Leans down until its nose is almost right in your face. You can feel its breath on your face. It smells vaguely of rotten flesh and dried blood.
Maybe ate a goat.
Oh, curious. Beaked dragon or like more of like the lizard style build?
Clarify.
So does it have more of like a beak style face or like
No, it's definitely more of a reptilian face, just covered in feathers instead of scales, like you would have expected.
No, I was just curious because as soon as you said like it was like nose when I was like, wait, I wonder if it's a beak or a
Yeah, that's a fair question. And after sniffing you for a moment in your kneeling posture, it straightens back up, sort of gives a soft huff, and then turns back to the rest of your party. And then continues walking, now a little bit more towards the north end. It almost seems to be circling your little group around the coffee table.
I motion at them like, motherfuckers, if y'all don't fucking bow, we're gonna die.
and I look at Stryker and I go point up to let him know to check for the other assassin to see what he's doing
Oh,
as I
yeah.
keep my gaze on the dragon.
Well, then I'm gonna look at the other side. Since you say he was in the corner, I go like this. I look up a little bit slowly, so the dragon goes in the turn, and I look, and I'm just like, what the fuck is he doing?
You've got a little bit better vantage point from your position, unobstructed view, at least for the moment, although as the dragon circles around, eventually it's going to block your view. This other assassin is pressed flat against the carving on the western wall. You can see all the color has just completely drained from his face, and he looks like he's about to have a heart attack as this dragon appears to be circling around, coming right for him.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, at least the dragon will have something to eat.
I am going to look at the assassin lead and just softly say, if he does not straighten up, he is dead.
That isn't like.
Assassin lead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go. No, go ahead.
Dead isn't dead, or dead isn't like.
Dead as in dead. That dragon's gonna maul his ass.
We'll be fine, but he won't.
Are you speculating, or is something you heard, or is just you assuming, or what's going on?
He's showing all the fear. Which means he's showing weakness. It's a feathered dragon. Feathered dragons love picking on weak things.
So, weakness, scaredness, and if you show disrespect, that's your ass. I show them respect. That's why I'm not dead.
Maybe if you protrude your dominant smells like somebody farts, they might like you or something. I don't know. Maybe not geographic.
The lead assassin glances sidelong at you, Seregios, and just sort of hisses, "What do you expect me to do? He's on the other side of the room. I can't do anything without drawing its attention."
Surely you know how to communicate with your men without doing anything overly dramatic.
When they're not freaking out, yes. At this point,
tell him to seduce the dragon.
Pretty much directly opposite the large fireplace, on the more towards the northern wall of the chamber, and there it actually stops, and it glares down at the poor assassin and the small puddle that is forming at his feet, pressed against the western wall. And it just sort of makes a disgusted huff, and then turns to look back at the rest of you, steps a little bit closer towards the large table, and then a little bit awkwardly slides down onto the oversized lounge chair, and then folds its legs up kind of sphinx-like, like you would imagine a cat would, wrapping its tail around the base of this lounge chair, and it just sort of sits there, regarding all of you.
I say we just look at it, not scared.
I wouldn't even look at it no more.
Seregios goes back to his playing card deck and slowly pulls out one card and keeps an eye on the dragon to see what its reaction is as he does this.
Okay. You pull out this card, and the dragon looks at you for a moment, looks at your card deck, and you could almost swear it raises an eyebrow at you. But it's really hard to tell because draconic features aren't familiar.
Exactly.
Then it suddenly attacks you and tells you that's a dragon priest deck from 2014. That's not meta anymore.
How dare you?
Fuck you! Fuck Hearthstone! And fuck your gluten-free gaming, you bastard!
Well, once again, everybody, this is at Fail PG.
Bye-bye, everybody. Total party kill.
So, in better terms, Mikey. Oh, I see you're playing Worms. You shouldn't be playing Worms. You should be playing Merfolk. But why? I hate Merfolk.
Well, at this point,
Hearthstone has their own Merfolk. They're called Murlocs.
So, let me ask. This card that you drew, is it a Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Dear God, no. It's 8 of clubs. What sort of cards do you think I'm playing over here? I mean, if you want me to go grab a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, I can. But...
So it's Flaming Swordsman. Gotcha.
Actually, it's the Cursed Dragon, and it's face down.
So while he's doing that, I'm slowly getting up.
He OTK's the dragon. He's like,
to get back into my chair.
Oh, swords of revealing light.
As you're, as you get up, again, the dragon turns its gaze towards you, Striker, and as you start walking towards your chair, it actually snakes its head down to you again, until it's about eye level with you. And its eye, for reference, is about this big. Pretty large. And it gazes at you, and actually its head is blocking your way to your chair now. And suddenly, a loud voice fills the entire chamber, seemingly coming from all directions. Would you please do something about your associate, who's wetting himself on my mural?
I wish I could. However,
that's not me, fool.
You have a guest.
He's not.
Talk to me.
I don't know. I mean, the voice is apparent to all of you. It seems to be coming from everywhere. The source of the voice is not clear. The dragon's mouth does not move.
I go like this. I look at the assassin. I'm like, I think the voice is talking to you.
And I immediately look over at Stryker and go, "Are you that much of an idiot that you can't remember the voice of the oracle?"
One, I'm going like this. I know it's not talking to me. I'm talking to him because the oracle's talking to him. So I look at Tall, Dark, and Shovelly and it's like, one, talking to him. Two, I think he peed twice, and I think he might have shitted himself. 3.
Wait, Mikey, can we get a roll to see if he shitted himself too?
All of the above.
Well, damn.
Shit, now, 3, fuck it, I'm done with 3 because he shit himself. I don't care anymore. I was like, 3.
Pissed himself, shat himself, pissed himself again, and now is curled up on the floor, like hugging his legs in his own juices on the floor.
I look at Sir Reggie, I'm like, you see this?
Sad display, isn't it? As I continue to pull cards out and place them on the table.
And at about this moment, the dragon sort of pulls its head back and allows you to continue on your way towards the chair, Striker.
And I as I'm walking, I'm like, thank you. And I just walk towards the thing. And I look at the assassin, it's like, I never seen this dragon before, but at least I know how to act other than your friend over there.
And the lead is just going, oh, I can't believe this is how we're representing Murad.
I was like,
there could be worse things.
He points to Twitchy and just says, get him out of here. And Twitchy just jumps up out of his chair.
oh, Lord.
You got it! And then the dragon immediately snaps its gaze down to him. But actually, you know what? We're going to roll for it. We're gonna roll.
God, Twitchy, no.
Oh, no.
Not my boy Twitchy.
No. Lucky for poor Twitchy, the dragon does not take any action as he jumps up out of his chair and starts happily wandering across the room to retrieve his soiled companion.
And I look immediately
You look
at
at him
the
too?
assassin leader.
I'm looking at him too.
And
We're
I
both
go,
staring at him.
out of all people, you chose that one. We have a perfectly good soldier and a perfectly, well, maybe not Striker, but he's here and he would have been a better choice.
And I look at him like, I agree with him. And I don't agree with him at all, half of the time. So let's go.
It's almost as if you want to kill your own people. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm wondering if I should do a risky move as I slowly walk up to it and just look at it in his eyes, in a real face.
No, you didn't. No, no, no.
Really? All right. All right.
No.
I'm wondering. I didn't say I was doing it. I'm wondering.
You know what? No.
Are you sure?
Sure.
Please say you are
Sure.
or aren't before he makes something happen.
Because he will make something happen.
Trolling me wants to make a stupid decision. Or I'm doing it.
All right. All right. Give me 100 side.
I said slowly. I didn't say I'm gonna do anything rash. I'm just looking in it.
Yeah, but now you have to roll 100 side to see how this is going to play out. Because now you might trip over yourself or something.
Okay, you want me to roll 100 side?
Yeah, 100 side.
Just had to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, don't make me laugh. I'm trying to roll some good. I'm trying to roll some good.
I'm not even gonna pay attention to this.
Come on.
You see what I'm doing? This is what Sir Regios is doing. Just continuously pulling cards slowly and putting them on a table.
I don't want to let go of the dice. I don't want to let go of the dice.
You made this decision.
14. Yeah, I got a 14.
14. All right. So before we address what happens to poor Noel, why is Seregios pulling cards out and laying them on the table?
Because it's, one, keeping his hands steady. Because if his hands have something to do, he won't be thinking about trying to do other things that could possibly get them killed. Much like Twitchy jumping up and Noel getting ready to do whatever he's about to do. And two,
I was being the smart one.
Hey,
I
I
like
think I'm
this
gonna
whole
touch
thing.
him. I think I'm just gonna get close to him and just keep looking at him.
like, he wanted to try to at least get a game in, since the dragon seemed to be allowing this to happen. After he drew that first card, he realized
You're still
the
gonna
dragon
play
was
cards
like,
with the dragon.
yes.
I love it.
Hey, I rolled really good. I rolled 14. Come on, I rolled something good. It has to have some type of success, right?
If you're lucky.
Oh, Lord.
If he rolled as
no.
well and it's a contested roll and he rolled lower than you, then you're fucked.
Noel, you stand up and turn to face the dragon and start walking towards it slowly. And it turns its sapphire gaze upon you and watches as you approach. How close are you getting?
A good 15 feet.
Okay, all right. So you're not taking too many steps towards it, maybe 3 or 4, and then you're about that distance from the lounge chair that it's resting on. And it studies you as you stop there and look at it, and it looks at you. And it leans its head down a little bit more to look at you a little more carefully.
I do a little
Sniffs you
smirk.
for a moment.
I keep looking. I look at it and I don't move or panic.
It eyes you for a moment. Is there something you would like to say to me, Noel Witherspoot?
I respond to it. It's like, man, I'm retarded. What are we looking for again? I forgot what's the name of the thing we're looking for.
We're here to see the Oracle.
Okay. He's like, I ask it, do you know of the Oracle?
Yes, there is one here who has been called that title.
And Sir Regios just looks up. You know you're speaking with the Oracle, right? Just...
And I'm sitting there looking at. I'm just pulling the card while he pulling it down. Like, God damn it, man! It's like
He's like,
you think
we
I
wish
bowed?
we wish to have a conversation with him. Are you his gatekeeper or
Lord.
his bodyguard or just in the area?
And then I say something smart. That is the Oracle. Why do you think I bowed? The Oracle already hates me. Why do you think I bowed? To show my respect.
And I ask him, is the fool they call Striker correct about this? Are you the horror?
Some call me an oracle, yes. I prefer the term preserver, or as some of the monks of the monastery refer to me, lore master. I assume that since my apprentice Gunther let you in here, that you had a pressing issue that needs my attention. Please, be seated. And the creature turns and looks at you again, SourceU. While a game of cards would be entertaining, I fear we will not have the time.
I suppose you're right. Although,
Yeah.
I would like to finish our game from last time. The creature just arches that eyebrow again and withdraws its head up to its more fully erect seated position. About that same time, the door to the chamber that you guys came through bursts open, and the young man who escorted you into the room a few moments ago steps in with a large stack of books in his hands. And he takes a few steps into the room and sees that you're all seated around the table with the dragon there. And then he notices the other two assassins by the west wall, one of whom has thoroughly soiled himself, and goes, oh no, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Your Grace, I should have mentioned that they were coming. I didn't think that your prior appointment would be over so soon. Gentlemen, allow me to introduce Her Grace, my master, Anwen Alltongued, the lore master of Kutafane. And he very hurriedly continues striding forward and sets the pile of books on the round table you guys are sitting around.
And it's like, see, I told you no.
Well, you're the one scared of him. I walked up to him respectfully. That's
I showed respect.
nah. You just look like a simp. And she was like, I ain't messing with this dude. Like I walked to him like it was
And I looked
And
at
I'll
the
look at-
Regios and I was like, you know why I did it.
And I'll just look at the Oracle. You remember Striker.
I.
Yes. What brings you back to my establishment?
Present her with the papers, please.
I'm sorry that we had to come here and bother you.
I'm
But-
sorry. I'm illegal. I don't have papers. I'm sorry.
And on that, Sir Regios will look at Noel. Are you always like this?
And I'd be like, y'all always call me the problem, but when I'm in front of people that is important, I know how to act. Might not
like-
do it anywhere else, but I know
maybe
how
like
to
my
act in front of people.
Maybe you like my sense of humor. Maybe.
Is that what your wife said?
The dragon actually does seem to have a sort of twinkle about its eyes as it looks down at Noel, but it doesn't say anything.
My Grace. And I pull out the paper and I present it. We're here because of this. And I unroll it slowly so, it doesn't mess up. Can you help us? Translate.
And it peers down at the paper and then kind of huffs and turns to the left and leans down. Oh, I hate getting old. And rummages around under the lounge chair for a moment and picks up a very large pair of spectacles that look like the glasses themselves were made from window panes. They're so large, and it carefully perches those on the end of its snout, and then peers down at the scroll that you're holding up. Yes, We can translate this, but Gunther, I believe this is a task for you. And the young man kind of, yes, Your Grace, of course. And he motions Stryker for you to lay the thing out on the table. And he starts rifling through the stack of books that he brought. And the dragon just sort of watches all of this. You don't need the books. You have the knowledge. Think. Look at the glyphs. And I'm actually going to share my screen here. Maybe. So this is the scroll that you guys have been carrying around this whole time. Can you confirm you can see the screen?
Yes.
Not only can I see the screen, but I now have it pulled into OBS so the fans can see the screen.
Excellent.
The thing is like, man, I was like, this is called Japanese. It's an ancient language.
Blood. Blood.
I hate to tell you that. Well, I can see why you would say Japanese. There are some characters that do almost look like they could be Japanese, or maybe even.
It has a resemblance to katakana, yes.
Yeah.
The young man looks a little bit frazzled at being put on the spot like this, but he dutifully leans over the parchment and stares down at it intently. Well, the paper is very old, certainly 1,000 years at least. The ink appears to be something that was used by the old priest classes from the cities in the first dynasty. And the dragon sort of nods approvingly. Go on. That would mean that this is a Hiraka? And you could almost swear that the dragon smiles a little bit, although it's really just a tiny upturn of the corners of its mouth. And it just sort of nods. And the young man looks a little hesitantly at the scroll and then back at the dragon. Really? Are you sure? And it just nods again. So, okay, as you wish, master. And he picks up the scroll and carries it over to the fireplace. And at that moment, the dragon waves its claw, and a fire suddenly erupts into life in the fireplace. And without missing a beat, the young man throws the scroll into the fire.
What?
What?
I'm gonna actually look at the lead assassin to catch his expression of this.
That's what I think he's doing. That's why he said it like that.
He's basically just, what have you done? We came all of this way to get you to translate that. Why would you do that? And the dragon actually holds up a clawed hand. Wait a moment. And as you guys watch, the flames in the fireplace change from orange to green. And the
Orange to
scroll
what?
does not
Green,
burn.
sorry. Oh, green. Okay.
Green. And the scroll does not burn. And after a moment, Gunther, the young man, grabs a pair of metal tongs from a small pan sitting next to the fireplace, reaches in and delicately pulls the scroll out of the fire and lays it back down on the table in front of you. And as he does this, you guys can see new lines and markings begin to spiral and etch their way across the parchment.
What?
Ooh.
Well, I'll be. No wonder why there was so much space. It's a map. Can I roll to see if I recognize possibly what the area might be?
The
Yeah,
area.
can I do it too?
Sure. Yeah, you guys can both. You can all do it if you want. 12 sides for intelligence. Whoever's
No,
doing it.
no, ain't never been nowhere.
Oh, natty 12, baby.
Well, at least you know. I got 3.
I asked the dragon the oracle if you could teach me how to do that.
The dragon gives another small huff in reply.
Mm.
It is a long forgotten technique used first by the Zurak Kul of the southern desert, and then carried through by my kin for several thousand years. Sadly, the art for creating them has been lost.
Oh, sad face.
Hmm.
Yes. Seregios, looking at the map, you pretty quickly recognize the shape in the upper left corner strongly resembles Lake Laogai, the lake that Kish sits on. And presumably, the little city-looking shape on the northern shore of that lake would be Kish, or at least a representation of Kish. But you can't read the writing next to it. The long squiggly line going towards the bottom of the parchment is probably then the river going southward. But the other city representations that you see don't look familiar. You're not sure what their placement is, but you definitely don't know about a city on the southeastern shore of the lake. There's nothing there as far as you know.
I take a moment. I look up at the lore master. And I go, what cities are southeast of here? I know of no city southeast of the river.
Alas, none that remain now. But once, when this scroll was written, there were many.
I see.
Gunther, would you be so kind as to translate the writing for our guests?
While he's doing that,
And
can I
the
take
young
another
man,
quick look?
of course.
I
What
want
are
to
you
take
looking
another.
for?
I just want to look again. Just say like maybe like looking closely at the bottom. Maybe I've been to that area before.
Okay, all
Not
right.
even knowing
Give me a
it.
12.
While he's doing that. Apparently, I don't know that place. All right, that's a 2.
Yep. The young man bends tentatively over the parchment and starts moving his finger across the lines of text. You can see his mouth moving, but he's not actually speaking, more just talking to himself as he goes. And he goes over the lines several times before finally speaking up. Here lies Xerxes, killer, betrayer, the end of his reign of horror and doom. May his name and his deeds be forever forgotten. No, I have that wrong. Forgotten forever. And his dark soul eternally bound in this tomb.
And then I sit down and look. I was like, wait.
Roll for hit. Can I roll for history to see if I have any knowledge of Xerxes at all?
Yes, and actually, Stryker, you should do the same.
Yep, because I was like, that sounds familiar.
Mine's is a 7. What did you get?
Dang, I got a 5.
Okay.
So, Stryker,
Sounds familiar.
you recall that the hit contract that Seregios was given on you was by a Church of Xerxes.
Mm-hmm.
You still have that contract on your person, as I recall.
Yes, I did.
Seregios, you recall that the Church of Xerxes hired you to kill Stryker almost a month ago now, and that the church is headquartered in the small river village of Eisen. And now that you look at the curve of the river on that map, the bottommost city representative graphic, that is in approximately the right place for Eisen, although Eisen is by no means a city.
Striker.
I wonder if this. Oh, sorry. What? What? I'm just sitting there thinking in my head. I was like, I wonder if this has to do with that one mission that we did a long time ago.
Striker.
Huh? Yes. Huh?
All the way to the south.
Uh huh.
That positioning.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
They look like Eisen to you.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and I'm sitting there like, it's just like, and I'm going through my head. I'm thinking back to all the stuff that I did in the past, like, uh, and I got the little, like a scared face. I was like, it's like and I had to like, so Regios, remember that one mission?
You mean the one that I passed up, but you and the twins did?
Maybe,
What
maybe.
did you do for them?
I,
Why did you run out on that job?
so a mission before this, where, uh, you know, Spunky's dad or Lord or Guardian, whatever you want to call him.
Who's Spunky?
Oh God, yeah. Oh wait, you wasn't with us. Uh, just to sum it up is, I did a mission. I helped somebody come back to life, kind of. And around that time, I was doing the job with the twins. And instead of finishing that job, I kind of got caught up in this job. And now it's kind of going for a circle. And yeah, we're fucked.
You're gonna need to tell me more details later.
We're fucked. That's what I'm gonna say.
And what do you mean brought someone back to life?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that part. That's near here or there. That's near
And
here or there.
then he will slowly shift his gaze to Noel. Do you know what he's talking about?
Unfortunately, I don't.
Good. Play dumb.
Well, as you're saying that, though, the dragon seems to have taken a unique interest in that, and actually leans closer to you, Stryker, so that it's eye level with you again.
I
I would very much like to hear this story. You brought someone back to life.
it,
How
it,
can this be?
it wasn't me per se. I did help.
Do you need her name again?
I did help. I did kind of forget her name, but I did help. It's been long, man. Goddamn, what's the
I
last
know,
time?
it's episode 0.
God dang it.
And now we're all the way in episode, I guess this is 24?
I don't know where we're at right now.
26.
26.
26.
Jeez, yeah. I need names here.
Hold steady. I got this one, maybe.
Before- You got it? You got
I
it?
got this one. I still have my old character sheet. I got this.
Oh God.
Totally got this.
I don't even know what happened to my old character sheet. Jesus.
Yeah, you never sent it to me, so I
You know what?
Her name is Liren.
Laren.
There you go.
So I start going not real descriptive detail, just to sum it up real quick. So there was a Liren, yeah. Supposed to be what you would say, what would you say? Something like you, almost like an orc, kind of goddess type thing, or one of those things,
You sure you weren't taking?
Another dragon?
Not a dragon. Well, she did act like one sometimes, but she wasn't a dragon.
You sure this is not some person from your hallucination, Striker, from taking, unless unsolicited
Is this the part where Noel acts like he
herbs?
wasn't a part of episode 0 at all and just
Right. And this
denies the
is
existence of any of this?
and I look at Noah and say, "No, you remember her? Remember she almost slapped you because you were saying something stupid."
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I never
Oh.
say anything stupid. And I look at everybody's eyes.
Sir Regios is probably the first person to raise an eyebrow, if not the assassin leader. Actually, can I roll against you to see which one of us rolls on? Bro, first. What do you want to roll?
Me?
No, talking to Mikey.
Uh,
Because he would have to roll for the assassin.
No, we're just going to say that the two of you both roll your eyes so hard that everyone else in the room can feel it.
I take it.
Okay, I'll just go like this. There was an evil person who was trying to take over the world with some magical amulet.
The thing you're looking for is Void Stone.
Voice stone. Thank you. The voice stone. Hey, see? He remembers.
As soon as you say that, the dragon's ears perk up. A void stone. Are you sure that's what it was?
I am pretty positive. It's just like, I'm just sitting there just like, it's been so long. I'm just trying to remember everything and and I take a deep breath. Yes, it was a voice stone. Laren was sent from wherever she was from. I don't remember right now. I'm just trying to get to the point right now. To stop this guy.
Thonvar Forest Village. I know it well.
Wait, can you read my mind? You are the Oracle. You are powerful. I know.
I'm surprised you didn't catch
I am
that.
able to read the mind of another if I choose, but it is considered quite rude. I prefer not to do that. No, I am not reading your mind right now. I know of the village.
This is why I love you. So, and what happened was, I felt I hear an echo.
Goat, are you watching something?
oh, sorry.
And then we were demonetized again. Before we were ever monetized.
There. Powerful Stone. She technically, with my help, technically helped save somebody's life.
Yes.
Not going to disclose his name because we were told not to disclose his name. But I know you can probably just find out just by reading my mind, but I do not consent to that right now. Because you might see something else in there. Just saying. Wink at her.
I had wondered what became of that stone. Thank you for sharing this story with me. And she, the creature snakes its head around to look at you now, Noel. You were present for this?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, maybe.
Interesting.
You were right there.
It is
You grabbed the
most
stone.
unusual that you two are in pursuit of yet another. I wonder if you even realize.
Well, I don't want it to fall into the wrong hands again. And the person that we were hired to find it doesn't want it to fall into the wrong person's hands again. So, because we know there was talks, and now that you kind of proved that this is a part of it, we definitely don't want it to go into the wrong person's hands. And I look at Sir Regios, and I say, the job for the twins was to find that stone. Too. And I left them because they were talking about some bad stuff to do with it. And in my good conscience, I couldn't be a part of that.
Striker, after this, I need a word with you in private.
Yes, my lord.
The dragon leans back again and looks over. Actually, it looks at each one of you in turn, its head sort of tilted with interest. Am I to understand that you are committed to looking for and retrieving the Xerxes Voidstone?
My job was to accompany them here, get this document translated, and then return them back with the translated document. At this point, our job is technically done. However, you do seem a little concerned. If there's anything that I can do to help, bring those concerns down, please. Tell me now.
If it's to help save the world, I am into.
And that just leaves you, Noel, and the lead assassin. The lead assassin just kind of folds his arms and leans back in a bit of a huff. So the dragon turns its attention back to you, Noel. What have you? I think you're muted.
I'm just. Well, I'm just following them. You know, same mission.
Don't be a follower, be a leader.
Shut up, Striker.
Go. Keep in mind, you've actually been given a task to deal with this yourself anyway from Ulrich. You should
I'm
be.
about to say. Yeah, I'm about to say, like, that's what we're on this mission for, no.
I mean, we've got an assassin and 2 bounty hunters who are all basically out for themselves. You're the only one who has, like, a city stake in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were you, I would, so as not to say anything aloud that could get you killed, maybe have her read your mind and have the conversation that way.
Yeah.
I do this. I put my hand on her head like this.
Oh,
I
Lord,
say,
you
can you
touched
read
her
my
head.
mind?
You touched her head. Oh, Lord.
And I get awkward.
She actually she scowls a little bit and kind of pulls away from your hand.
I was like,
I don't like to be petted, thank you. But yes, I can read your mind if you wish.
And I go
great.
Like,
There's no
like,
physical contact needed. Oh, nice.
like,
Okay.
No, you're lucky.
Sergio just continues to shake his head and just slowly sinks into his seat. The people that I have to bring here.
I remember when the last time somebody touched the head.
Please forgive him for his ignorance.
I mean well.
I look at Noah's like the last person that touched her used to have his job.
So he's like, I asked him, do you know any optimal routes, any shortcuts, any wink wink nod secrets?
Speaking with her voice now only in your head, Onwin answers, "The fastest route is by boat to Eisen. Then follow the path to the north. The tomb is what humans would call a ziggurat, a stepped pyramid, set in what is now a marshland. The tomb was surrounded by powerful spells to keep the evil within contained. But there may be a way in through the south. I seem to recall that an entrance point was placed there. The barrier magic would be weakest there. As for escape, I am unsure. I have never set foot inside an old Zurak temple."
Well, what did he say? Wait, I'm sorry. What did he say that was the barrier was the weakest? From the south, right? If you entered
The south, yes.
Okay, all right.
So while y'all having that conversation, I go to Sir Reggio's. Hey, can I talk to you for a second?
Let's wait.
Wait, I'm not done with the conversation.
Have a private conversation with the Oracle with just the 3 of us.
I actually need a private conversation with her too.
We both will.
Oh yeah. At the same time, you understand. And I look at him like, you know what I mean. Look
Yes.
at-
I, um, can I ask the Oracle if you have any like wink, wink, nod, nods? You know, special weapons we can borrow or have.
No. As you might imagine, I have little use for human weapons. All I can suggest is that you work together to brave the dangers of the temple. The protective barrier was the only intentional defense mechanism that I know of, but void stones have unusual effects on the surrounding area. The temple interior may be quite dangerous.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Do you have a specific night and day cycle to attempt this, or it doesn't matter?
It matters not to me. Whatever you believe is the wisest course of action.
Okay, well, you answered all my questions. And I walk away, and I tap so Regios this arm and says, "Your turn."
And I look over at Noel. Thank you. And I will request the scroll to be rolled back up and given to the lead assassin.
Gunther kind of casts a glance at the dragon, who gives a small nod of approval, and he carefully rolls the scroll back up and hands it to the lead. Be mindful that the hidden ink will disappear again within a few hours. If you need to read it again for some reason, casting it into an open flame for a few seconds will bring it back to the fore.
And I will just simply look at him. The best route right now, instead of trying that again in case we mess up, would be for you to make a copy of that as soon as you can to bring back to your lord.
I agree. Once we are done here, I will see to it.
And then I will look at Noel and ask Noel to step outside and then look at the lead assassin and tell him to grab his men and also step outside.
Okay, I do it. I do what he says.
And I will look at Stryker. I
Oh, I'm
will.
staying put.
I know, but before you stay put, I'm gonna nudge you twice to make the kind of signal you to like start trying to walk, so I can tell you to stay.
Okay. And I start walking.
And then I
Oh, I
will.
said, no, I go like, oh, I guess that means me too. Duh, 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 duh.
And as soon as he starts walking away, I'll walk up and grab him by the shoulder. I actually need you to stay behind for a moment, Stryker.
And I look at the assassin like I'm scared. I'm like, okay, okay. In the back of my head, I'm
The
just
lead
like,
assassin stops where he is. What is it?
We have some previous business with the Oracle that needs clearing up. Stryker here needs to make amends for something he did.
come on. I did say I was sorry.
The
No,
assassin flicks his gaze between the two of you and then points at you, Sergio, says, I expect him to come back out of this conversation alive. And then turns on his heel and walks out the door.
Sergios will pull Stryker back. He won't say anything. He's gonna wait to make sure that the assassins are gone, but he will look at Stryker and just simply nod in appreciation for his acting.
and I look at him like, and I still look scared, like just in case he still might look back, like,
The dragon, with a somewhat perplexed expression, snakes her head down to your level again and glances between the two of you.
And I look at the dragon, I wink, like,
Should I even ask what that's about?
And I will look at her and I will just simply tap my head twice right at the temple.
Human politics can be so tiring.
And I wink, y'all like, yeah.
Before either of you says anything, I would know, where did you come by this scroll?
Striker, would you like to tell her or should I?
uh, so there was a big flamboyant guy.
This sounds like an interesting story.
Nah, so I'm just playing. All right, so and I was just like, oh no, that was the second part. So we got the what was his name again? Dang it, what was his name?
They never said his name.
They never said his name. I
Never
could have
said
sworn
his
he said
name.
it.
He never said his name. I've looked back through all the recordings just to double check. Never said his name. You
Oh
never
crap!
asked. And you never asked.
I didn't ask.
And I tried to get Mikey to tell me off screen, but he wouldn't tell me because he was like, "Nope, nope. If you never said it on screen, it's not. You're not getting told." So
I'll do
Nope.
this. So the first,
He is the flamboyant guy.
he is the flamboyant Marquise.
so there was this guy. I can't really be serious now because I don't know his
The
name.
Marquise of Murad, to make things simpler for him.
Let's do that. So yes, the Marquis of Murad was interested in a letter that we had previously before this one. Thought I could read it. It did look familiar, but I guess I just can't really translate it. And once I got the letter, we were sent on a mission. I didn't know what for until now. I didn't know he wanted this, to destroy stuff. I always get mixed up in some crazy stuff, and I try not to. Just always happens.
Dragon nods slowly. Yes, I believe I understand. I would not expect you to be able to read a language that was dead 1,000 years before your civilization was born. It is written in Kal Dahar, an old dialect, first created by the Zurak, the eldest of my kin.
Wow. So, and then I had to go like, I seen this language before, and it was around the time with the dark stone, that one stone that kind of brung my friend back to life. It was written on some cave walls. That place no longer exists anymore, but I don't, I guess it's some way connected somehow.
Yes, it would have been. When your civilization was young, you did not have writing of your own. You borrowed some of ours. Your scholars and priests of the era made use of our language and our writing. This is where your scroll came from, those thousands of years ago. And the cities and temples that your people created were filled with these glyphs. That was before the war.
And I could tell, I was like, wow, that's insane. And I go, I don't want nothing bad to happen to this world. Is there anything we can do to save it? And I'd say to Regios, if you are in, I am in.
It depends
I'm gonna
on
say
what the
both of
oracle.
you,
Okay, wait. Go see.
both of you roll 12 sides for perception.
I got 10.
I got 9.
Seregios, you're the only one who notices that as Stryker asks that question, the dragon's expression almost seems to look a bit crestfallen. But it only lasts for a moment, and again, you can't be completely sure because draconic features are so alien. But now you were answering Stryker's question about. Oh, you wanted to hear from the Oracle first. You want to hear from the Oracle.
I wanted to hear from the Oracle exactly what this Void Stone is. That what it's called? I'd like to know more
Yes.
about it.
Do you want the short version or the history lesson?
Whatever you feel necessary.
Very well. The short version. The history lesson, if you wish it, is on the wall. And with that, she gestures towards the very large mural on the western wall. Long ago, when the world was created, humans and dragons were, for the most part, at peace. And we minded our own business and our own lives. The gods each minded their own particular sphere, but unknown to most of the mortal races, there was a dark god, one of the void, who sought to consume all of the world and return it to the nothing from whence it came. Using his influence, he corrupted the most powerful member of each of the races, stripping away their souls until they were but mere husks. Do you know what the absence of a soul looks like in a creature?
I would imagine like darkness. Emptiness of space.
Deeper. Deeper even than darkness, deeper even than emptiness. Darkness is absence of light. Cold is absence of heat. A void stone is the absence of soul. Soul is the most important thing that separates us from inanimate things like stone and water. These husks that he created became immensely powerful under his influence and began trying to destroy the world. Your race and mine combined our efforts and destroyed them and sealed their evil away in temples scattered across the world. Xerxes was one of those husks, a powerful member of the Zurak. He has resided in that tomb for thousands of years. A void stone is concentrated nothing. It is like a hole in the world. If you imagine you were an ant walking across a piece of parchment, and you came across a hole in that parchment, what would you see? It would appear as if the world just disappeared, went away into nothing. This is a void stone. And through the void stone, the Dark One influences the world around. Souls are what give us the ability to change the world around us. It is what gives world shapers their power. A lack of soul can also shape the world, but in ways not predicted, not intended. They are dangerous, powerful weapons. Your friend, Noel Witherspoon from Uruk, is correct. They would not be good to fall into enemy hands. But the question is, who is enemy hands? This you must decide for yourself.
Sir Regios takes a moment and looks back up at the Oracle. Would there be a way to maybe perhaps get rid of the Void Stone?
If there was, I do not know it. In the ancient days, our world shapers were far more powerful than they are today. And if they could not find a way to destroy the stones, I'm not sure a way exists.
Striker.
Yeah. Yes.
Where were you when you originally ran into the first Void Stone?
It was a cave off of uh what was that place again?
That would have been Uruk.
It was in Ulrich.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was in Ulrich,
Uruk,
and
you say?
it was it was weird. It was destroyed, but like I said, it was technically absorbed. I should say, like the power was transferred instead of like the stone was broken, but the power was transferred and the stone disappeared. If that makes any sense.
Transferred
When it
to.
disappeared, you said that someone was resurrected. Explain.
So, in order to keep the power out of evil hands, it was absorbed into one body, but to save the other person, they themselves transferred all the power into them, and she disappeared. If I remember this correctly, it's been a while, and
Close enough.
it's pretty much close enough.
Close enough.
Close
Close
enough.
enough. Close enough.
So day zero was like a long time ago with kids. I'm telling you now, just trying to remember everything that happened. All I know is my horse died,
Yeah,
and
day
I kept
zero.
missing with my rope.
Yeah, episode 0 was literally like a year ago. A whole year ago.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, my
Pretty
horse
much.
died, and I kept missing with my rope. Okay, that's all I really remember. Okay, but I still got my rope now.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Nope, I'm never using this rope. The rope
Mm-hmm.
will stay here. But yeah, so just letting that go, like,
Unless
yeah, just to sum it up, just something like that. It's been a while, and we kind of been we're not really supposed to talk about it, but of course, you, great oracle, all knowing and powerful, can definitely eat me in 2 seconds or just read my mind. I can send to that if you want to read my mind, but for that part, but
I
yeah,
appreciate you sharing this information with me freely, but I would caution you that the Void Stones cannot be destroyed. So if one life was saved at the sacrifice of another, the stone is most likely not gone. It is most likely a part of the person who was saved.
this is why we don't speak of the person that was saved.
Would the person happen to know if the Void Stone was in them?
Probably
Not
not.
consciously,
I'll say
but
probably not,
the
because
Void Stone would exert its influence on that person and the world around him.
he does kind of act like a dick. But he
Striker,
was a
this is you we're
huh
talking about. I'm
huh
pretty sure
what?
you give him a reason to act like a dick.
Actually, I talked to some of the people that he's around, and he said the same thing. He's a dick. That ain't. I know I made him mad a whole bunch of times during the whole mission, which I had to leave one mission to go join that mission. But yeah, we became great friends. Still a dick, but we were
Mm-hmm.
great friends.
I'm sure somewhere in the world, Deus is sneezing.
Shut up. And also, I'm gonna ask this question. You said that it would you know, affect them kind of certain ways. Is there anything we should be worried about that might actually happen? Like some strange power might just magically happen, or
I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Just something like that.
Yes, I would worry about him.
So now I gotta go try to make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
Who are you talking about?
Uh, what? No,
Oh,
what the hell you doing here? Where the hell you come from?
oh, I am. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
well, who you referring to?
He's
Oh,
referring to Deus.
there you go. Remember Ground Zero, where the stone, well, the lovely,
Mm.
lovely, mean to me, lovely. I didn't even give her a reason to be mean. I was trying to be nice the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. So
She didn't believe me.
at this, Sir Regios will look at Stryker. When we get back,
If I make it back,
you will. I'll make sure of it.
and I look at her, I'm like, oh, so just to let you know, those assassin guys, yeah, they're gonna try to kill me as soon as I leave here. Maybe not
That
spunky.
sounds complicated.
Yeah, I mean, he wants to kill me. And I was pointing to Sir Regios, but we worked together so many times. He already tried to kill me so many times. I
That's
mean,
not true. I wouldn't kill you right away unless the job was in danger of being completely foiled by your antics. Oh wait, that did happen at least twice.
yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. I
I
retract my
would
statement.
remind you that bloodshed is not permitted within the bounds of Cutifane. You, Seregios, I believe, are aware of my agreement with Tiamat.
I am, and I will do my best to uphold your agreement.
Yeah, I know. I remember too.
However,
But them,
we will be traveling separate of them. Once we get back to Murad, we are separating completely. Do you have anyone else outside of Noel Witherspoon out there that you trust?
uh, there was Spunky, but
Again, who is Spunky?
why? He was there. She took the
You
contract
called
from
her
you.
that for so long that you don't remember her actual name anymore, do
It's
you?
Riku. I know it's Riku, but I'm trying because I'm not trying to give her name out again because I don't want to make him real mad. But I was like, she took
Rico Finkelstein.
like
There you
she took the contract from me.
go.
Oh, you mean the little assassin girl?
Yes, her name is Riku.
Oh, what was her name again?
Riku. God dang it, Jesus.
Ah, yes, Rico.
I trust her, but she is also captive of the Assassin's Guild.
And also not in good shape.
No,
Knowing Murad's Assassin's Guild, she's probably gonna be dead when we get back here.
more than likely.
You say that with such glee. I thought you were
No,
friends.
I'm very upset.
And so, with that, Sir Regios will point Stryker to the door. He will look up at the Oracle. I will do my best to help salvage the situation without anything crazy happening. But again, I'm on a paid job to do this, so I must make sure that the map returns back to whence it came. However, anything after that is, as they say, free game.
So,
I
but then
wish you safe travels, gentlemen.
I asked the Oracle
And
before.
Seregios,
Huh? What?
beware. The twins have been alerted to your presence, and I have already heard whispers that they are searching for you, as well as searching for the stone. If you do not hasten, they may beat you to it, even without the map.
And I go, speaking of the map, is there any way that we can get a copy of that separate from them? Maybe by memory. our friend can just quickly draw the map.
Yeah.
Roll to see if I can remember the details of the map in full. Not the wording, just the outlining places
Yeah,
on the map.
that's all I care about. Just
Mm-hmm.
Go for it. But you know what I'm gonna do?
Sure.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Don't worry, I've already switched us back to main screen anyway. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how long I had that up until I looked and saw what time it was. Like, why do I still have this up?
Yeah. Give us a 12 side for intelligence.
A 7.
A 7.
A 7. Which means I think it's a 6 because if I remember correctly,
You're a
negative.
-1 on intelligence.
Yeah.
So you remember the vague outline of the lake and the river, and that's about it.
Once again, I go back and ask, so can he make a copy of this for us real quick? Because I'm pretty sure he's way smarter than us.
I think you'll have to ask your assassin friend, since you gave him the scroll.
Yeah, see? And I look at him like, this is what your problem is. You like to give away scrolls a lot.
And I'll look at him. Don't worry, he's making a copy. I have a plan. Trust
Yeah,
me.
and you think he's going to give us one?
You hope that he's making a copy.
Right. And I look at him like, trust the wrong people too many times.
I would hope he would take my advice and make that copy for his lord.
No, he's going to keep the contract. He ain't going to make no copy. He's going to keep the scroll.
We'll see how this plays out.
Ah, here we go again.
will.
And besides, at this point, if I kill them, it doesn't matter. So long as the scroll returns back, that's all that matters.
Ah, here we go again.
You guys done with the oracle?
Yes.
And I asked the Oracle before we leave, can you just bless us so we go?
Oh, I first should ask him if he had any spells.
I'm not a god, you know. I'm just a dragon. If it makes you feel better. And she waves her claw at you in a sort of vague manner. There, you're blessed.
And I'm like, I know it wasn't real, but it means a lot to me. Thank you. And I just start walking away.
And the dragon just shakes her head.
I'll see you soon. And I wink as I go.
Sir Regios will take a bow. He will flick one card out of his pocket and then say, "Your usual card, madam." And then we'll leave it on the table as he walks out the door.
Okay. And you walk out the door of her chambers, and inwardly to herself, Anwen just sighs and thinks, I probably have 100 of these by now. I wish he'd get me a full proper deck instead of 1,000,000 of the same copy.
Yay! He wrote the joke all the way.
And I say, yeah, he does this a lot. He ain't the only one. Just keep on going.
Well, with that, gentlemen, I believe we're out of time for this evening, so I think we're going to wrap it there.
Oh, that was fun, guys.
You look like you were having such a great time, Greg. Did you actually stay awake for any of it?
I dozed off a few at the end, but yeah, it was fun. I mean,
this is Greg we're talking about. This is the guy who can't watch anime unless there's an explosion every 5 seconds. Too much expedition for him means that it's nap time.
what are you talking about? Just at night. You know how much anime I used to watch with no action in it? What's the
Oh, so he's talking about hentai. Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
That's still
that's it
action,
for us
though.
for
He
tonight.
watches it for the stories.
Yeah, sure he does.
And the tentacles. Definitely just for the tentacles.
Angel
Definitely
Point
does
1,
watch it for
2,
that.
3, Punish 1, 2.
If you, for some inexplicable reason, like the kind of content that we're creating here, please hit that like and subscribe button. If you don't like it, and I don't know why you would. The dislike button's right next to it, but please do leave a comment down below if you have suggestions for improvements, critiques, constructive feedback. We take it all. Unconstructive feedback, especially directed at Mr. Surge, we definitely take that as well. And as always, we are Fail PG. We fail every week, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody loves Striker.
Fuck Striker.